Hello, Maze Warrior YouTube. Ace Reddit here for another video, and today we are going to be reading some Nuclear Revenge. I've wanted to read this subreddit for a while because I love revenge, and nuclear is it's pretty nice. It's almost life-ending revenge. But let's just jump into it. It's Philip Franco says, Guy's mother got arrested for attacking me. He decides to get revenge. Gets stabbed. I don't know if this fits, but here you go. Written on mobile, so yada yada. So a bit of backstory. I am prone to random seizures. I have a service dog because of that. Recently I've had an encounter with a entitled parent. During the second encounter I had a seizure and she started kicking me. And then she tried to steal my dog. She got arrested and stuff, but after that I got really nervous and started carrying a knife around me. I think you see where this is going. Story. I don't know how, but the son of the entitled parent, ES for entitled son, found out where I lived. I didn't know who he was until he started leaving notes on my door. I still live with my mom because I'm a minor, but I never tell her what's going on. She found out about the EP encounter because I had to be carted off in an ambulance. That was no exception. I just took the notes and threw them out. However, I was walking on a trail behind my house when this went down. Main event. ES came up out of nowhere. He acted friendly at first, but then became more and more nasty as he continued talking. He talked about how his mom was innocent, a bystander took a video for kicking me while I was having a seizure, grabbing my dog, and getting tased when she tried to flee the police, and how I ruined his life. I was really nervous at this point, and my dog could sense it as she moved closer to me. I also had my other hand in my pocket on the handle of my knife. Now it seems that assault runs in the family, because after his screaming reached a peak, he became physical, grabbing my sweatshirt, kicking and punching me a bit. He even kicked my dog when she stood between me and him. Now that pushed me over the line. I pulled my knife out, and it had a spring-assisted opening, so I could open it one-handed and pretty fast as well. I told him to stop one more time and he punched me, so I stabbed him multiple times in his legs, chest, and any place I could reach. Now, as with anyone who just got stabbed, he dropped like a rock. I called 911, told him some guy assaulted me, so I stabbed him. The cops show up, guns drawn, ordered me to drop the knife. I did, proceed to explain what happened to them as the ambulance arrived. The guy was taken care of first as he was bleeding out all over the place, and my dog and I get attention next. I would have just ran after I stabbed him, but he beat me pretty bad, and I was worried about my dog. And the guy's still in the hospital, now in stable condition, and is going to get arrested as soon as he heals enough. I like to say that everything turned out okay in the end. I got off scot-free as it was self-defense. And aside from a couple broken ribs and sprained wrists, I'm doing fine. My dog was lucky and just got a bruise. Now I have multiple knives on me. Pocket, shoe, wallet, chest, pocket. I also started carrying a little DIY project where I'm adding small sheets of aluminum into my dog's vest for some extra protection. Now I got two trails coming out. This one for the entitled parent got delayed as she is getting a mental health evaluation, and her son's will probably happen when he heals. Photo from the dog around a month ago, and then here's a picture of the doggo that she submitted. I'm not gonna admit the picture of the knife, but here's the picture of the doggo, and it is just the most adorable fluff ball ever, and I love it. I love doggos. In fact, I'm kind of telling you this before I tell my gaming channel. I'm getting a doggo within a couple weeks. It's going to be a German Shepherd. Near purebred. It's not really a purebred, but the mother's a purebred. The father's actually, I think, a boxer. At least that's what my friend told me. But yeah. I think I'm going to... It's a nearly pitch black. I think I'm going to try and name something like Midnight Star or something, because me being space person. I could go weeb and name it like Gajiel, although it is female dog, so I have to come up with something better. Could name it Yuno. I'm getting way off topic here. Back to the Reddit. This story is called Douchebag Bullies Me. Wrecked his daddy's car, got him expelled, and nearly killed him. So I posted this story on Nuclearrevenge yesterday, but it got removed. A couple users said the story fits here, so I copied and pasted the story here. This is my first time posting, so I'm sorry for bad grammar. English is not my first language. So a couple years ago, when I was in high school, there was this guy. Let's call him DB. This is for douchebag. I studied at a private high school, so there were quite a lot of spoiled brats. DB always goed around flexing his dad's M5 and looked to make fun of bully other students that drives cheap and old cars. I'm gonna try and correct his English over time if I can, because my brain will automatically try and register it. Sometimes he and his gang would go around the school parking lot and vandalize those cars. It is a private school, so there's only a handful of students driving around cheap secondhand cars. I drive a 12-year-old Camry to my school, and my family is actually pretty well off, but maintaining a Camry is a lot cheaper than a Mercedes. And this is the reason that I actually executed this revenge, because I'm the only guy that drives cheap cars and DB's classmate. I took the blunt of DB's bullying. Many times after school ended, I literally saw him in his game scratching my car and kicking it. Not that I care, it's a Camry. He'll break a leg before he does damage to my car. But soon after that, they started to break my side mirror, even letting out air out of one of my tires. I tried complaining to school, but the teachers hardly did anything, only gave him a warning. That's why I decided to take things in my own hands. Besides DB's douchebaggery in school, he drives like an asshole on the road too, regularly tailgating and brake checking other people, especially students from our school. The police around here is really nice, as in you can legit bribe every single one of them to let you go for a small offense. So DB didn't even once get in trouble. Start a revenge. My revenge is actually very simple. Intentionally ram his car when he brake checks me, so I won't be in trouble. One of his classmates invited everyone in our class to his birthday party. A month before that, I bugged my parents to install a dash cam in my car. Then at the party, I refused to drink any alcohol, saying that I'm not feeling well. DB, however, literally did a whole row of shots within 5 minutes of arrival. Shot! God, I'm sorry. Which is good for my revenge. So after the party ended, I followed DB on the road. We live in the same community, and it's 40 minutes drive from the party. We're on the highway going 150 kilometers per hour. It's almost 4 a.m., so the road is empty. DB was speeding on the fast lane as usual, and suddenly he switched lanes. I was getting excited because I thought my revenge won't work. DB drove in front of me and hit the brake quite hard. I didn't even let go of the gas. I only tried to ram his car's corner and make him hit the beams on the side of the road. On the dash cam, it looked like I tried to avoid hitting him, but here's where it went wrong. His car lost traction and hit overpass support. It looked like melted butter. I legit got scared to stop my car and ran over to him. The car was smoking and all the airbags were blown. The passenger, DB's friend, who was also an asshole, luckily didn't suffer any serious injury. DB, on the other hand, bit his tongue and was bleeding out and passed out. I remember seeing blood coming out of his mouth like a faucet. I called 911 and ambulance arrived in 10 minutes. Apparently DB's condition was very serious then. After DB and his friend got carried away to an ambulance, the police did an alcohol and drug test on me, and I was clean. Told them what happened. They wrote down everything I said. My parents drove me home. I didn't really get in any trouble other than my parents didn't let me go out for a year. Then later I found out DB's license got revoked. He got expelled from school, and last week I heard from a friend that he was disowned and jailed for drug trafficking. Again, sorry for any grammar mistakes and or weird formatting. On mobile, and storytelling isn't my forte. The 150 km is at the fast part of the highway. When the revenge happened, the speed was slower. I would hope. Now, this story is actually pretty good. I think from pro-revenge, you're not allowed to do anything seriously life-threatening. And when I mean life-threatening, I mean causing physical injury kind of life-threatening. Not like getting someone fired from the job kind of life-threatening. So I can understand why this story would have been put on Nuclearrevenge instead. But I found out a couple days ago that there's another subreddit called Supernova and Black Hole Revenge. I think those two are where you can actually like get someone like dead. So eventually we'll actually read a few of those at some point in the future. But yeah, this was actually a pretty good story. I enjoyed it. This story is called Mess With Me and My Fellow Classmates. Enjoy your fake ass. Okay, this is my fifth time doing a Reddit post since I'm a newbie to this website. I am now a 40-year-old mother of one of those happily married. Oh, fuck me, English. I am now a 40-year-old mother of one and happily married for 13 years. I will read this story as it is written. I shit you not. And we're gonna go through this and we're gonna have a bowl of Struggle Puffs. God help me. This is gonna be a long story. God help me. This happened when I was 12 years old and in middle school. My principal was a sick sadist. She was allowing all the bullies to terrorize the special ed kids, believing the special ed kids were a blight on humanity and deserved to be eliminated. Okay, first off, as a person who is psychotic, special ed kids are not a blight on humanity. In high school, I had many friends that were special ed. Actually, now that I think about it, they were special ed, but they were the most normal people at high school. Huh. I'm getting off traffic. Once my mother was heard saying that I was a retard, she focused her attention on me. She allowed the bullies to torture me. They beat me, and some even sexually assaulted me. 2 even raped me. I found that if I went to anyone, I would be beat by my mother. She would then tell me that it was my fault I was raped. She would then tell me that only a retard or a T-tard would deserve to be abused and that I will never deserve happiness. So I bided my time to get revenge on that farce of an educator. I eventually told my dad, and he told me about a super laxative that he received when he was in the Marines. I then looked into firecrackers. 3 months later, there was an 8th grade field trip to Griffin Observatory to see a partial solar eclipse. That time it was to be the last trip before graduation to high school. And it is also around the time of fireworks selling. So I took some of the laxative that my dad showed me and went to the trip and went to the stand and bought 2 M80s with a waterproof wick. The public bathroom had 3 stalls, so I rigged 2 stalls and spiked my principal's coffee with coal and blow mix. She had to go to within 5 minutes, and I had to go as well. I went into the unrigged stall and waited. 3, 2, 1. Boom! I heard the most excruciating scream, and then I looked through the door gaps to see her butt blackened as I saw a 6-inch shard of porcelain halfway in her left cheek. I thought nothing about what I did after that. I graduated, was preparing for high school, and the relief of never laying an eyes on that head bitch bully again. Until freshman orientation. There she was, now a high school principal. Oh shit. I would never get rid of this torment, I thought. That was the time that she addressed the new students with a lift of her skirt and a weird sound of snaps and snapping. Then hoisted her a rubber S and said that she knows it was one of the new students that caused it and she will sue them for damages. Nobody rose it to her, so nothing was done. I then told my dad what I did. He took me on a 3-day Disneyland trip to celebrate me developing a backbone. He then gave me a micro cassette, record it, to gather evidence to get her fired. I gathered recordings of her terror on campus for months, and for 4 months. Luckily, the school board president was also my bishop in my church, so I arranged to meet him in his church office to play the tape. She was fired the next day. As she was leaving her office with a box full, I offered to help her to her car. As she opened the trunk, I could not hide it farther. I told her, mess with me and my fellow classmate, get your ass ripped. She had a look of horror, then dragged me to the board's president's office to start prosecuting me. He then looked at me, then at her arms, and said something I will never forget. This girl had a town-wide reputation of being a well-respected child, and a shining example of what a good girl is like. I do no believe that she is capable of something that's heinous. Go away or I'll call the cops on you. He then turned to me and gave me a ride home. I never in my life since then got as much glee as that era. Then found out years later that she was killed by cops during a schizophrenic outburst. They called it suicide by cop. I still have no regrets of what I did. Sorry if I may have perceived it as a major bitch. However, what would you do if the same happened to you and there was no apparent way out? So, what I think about this story was, this is the kind of revenge where she just meant to kind of fuck with her, in a sense. Basically give her a scare with a firecracker and then make her shit for days with that laxative. I don't think she intentionally meant for that the porcelain to go 6 inches deep into her ass. However, that was the outcome, and whether we like it or not, that was a pretty damn good revenge, even if it happened slightly on accident. Because sometimes the best revenges are on accident. I have to tell you that. But anyway, guys, that'll be all for this video. Remember to pimp, like, and subscribe to me. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Go subscribe to my main channel, the gaming channel, if you want to see more content of me. So, for any more Reddit videos, click about 5 seconds after I quit talking. Keep on playing, players. Peace. Goodbye.